Hello and welcome to an episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. My name is Jacob and today we have a super exciting unboxing video. This is the first thing that has actually arrived from Japan in such a long time. Mainly because Japan has had a lot of issues with their postage to Australia lately. So this thing took a long time since I first ordered it, and there should be a number of things in here. You know the title, you know what's in this box. We got the YMSF vinyl figures, so I'm super excited to get into these. So I actually ordered these directly from the YMSF Facebook page, from the dude who runs it there. That seems to be the best place to get these. And I don't really know the deal fully with YMSF. It's like, are they official Toho figures? Are they kind of like bootlegs or third-party figures? Or, I don't know. It seems like some sort of really small production of sort of boutique vinyl figures. It's really cool because a lot of stuff Bandai doesn't put out or is really hard to get, and YMSF seems to have really beautiful sculpts and actually targets a lot of obscure kaiju, which is why I just had to jump on these. I'm just gonna slice the top of the box here. It did come a bit dented, so I'm kind of worried because it looks like it's been rammed down the middle, but I'm hoping everything's okay in here. Vinyl figures tend to be kind of tough, so it should be alright. And, ooh, I'm also worried that the dude forgot to put one of them in the box, because I sent me a message saying they might have forgot. Regardless, let's take a look. So we got a bunch of bubble wrap in here, and already I can see Megalon, so that makes me so happy. Let's pull him out. A Megalon figure. A real Megalon figure. I know I have this one here, but this is one that I handmade. It's a sculpture that I made out of Super Sculpey and stuff like that, and I painted him up. So we're going to compare the two, but we have a YMSF Megalon vinyl figure. Oh. Megalon is one of those kaiju that you just can't find figures of. Well, you can, but they're so expensive, so this is so exciting because, oh, it looks so good. Oh my god. Oh my god, yes! Oh, I can't tell you how happy I am that this arrived. I was getting really worried that it wasn't going to arrive, because it was going by really slow postage. Oh, pull him off. His head seems to be popping off, but that's okay. Oh, look at that! A real-life YMSF Megalon figure. See, there's his little face there. It is popped off of this thing here. Should be an easy fix. You just pop her back on. Pop him back on, like so. Come on, get on. Okay, this one's a little dodgy. Oh. I don't know, guys. Not the best work with the head here. Kind of likes to sit up like that, which doesn't look quite right, and his legs also popped off. Okay, so sculpt on this thing looks phenomenal, but the actual sort of quality of the build of this figure is actually kind of it has some issues. Stuff is popping off here and there, which is a bit of a problem. Come on, fit back on. So it is made of like a fairly sort of light, hard vinyl. It's not super thin, but it's not super thick either, so I'd say it's a bit thinner of a vinyl than a Bandai figure. You can see down here we got a YMSF and Gen on this foot here, that written there, and here it says 1973 to 2009 Toho Co. Ltd. So I guess this figure was put out in 2009. You can see, beautifully painted up the back, the wings. This is really nice. And I love these drill hands. Oh my god. Yes, and this is the open mouth version of this Megalon, by the way. Because there's two variants. The open mouth and the closed mouth. So, I don't know. The build of this figure is kind of irritating me. I'm just in love with this sculpt, but the lip of this head here should have still had some material at the front here so it could actually hold his face in. Because this is just gonna not work by the looks of it. It's just gonna keep popping out or like angling up, which I don't really want. It's not the worst. Okay, I kind of got it sitting there, but that gap is a bit of an issue. Maybe if they at least detailed this area under here. There we go. We kind of got him looking all right. It's actually a nice size. I know that these YMSF figures tend to be kind of small, so this one actually seems to be a pretty decent size. So if we bring in my one, so this is my sculpted one. This one's probably actually a little more accurate to the suit, to be honest. Hard to say, really. I need to have some reference photos, but you can see my one here, my Megalon, YMSF Megalon. That's how they look from the front. Again, this one was all hand sculpted by me, including the drill hands, which are really tricky to get those kind of shapes going. Around the back, we have his wings. So very cool. Now I have two sort of 6-7 inch scale Megalon figures in my collection. We can actually bring in our Gigan figure. So this is just our typical Bandai Showa Gigan, our Bandai Japan version, by the way. You can see how they scale up, and they scale up beautifully. These two look like they were made for each other. Love that. I'm definitely going to have these two on the shelf together. That is nice. Paintwork wise, very basic, but the paint on his wings looks fantastic. That's the main part. He's done in this sort of like gray, yeah, just gray plastic with some silver on his drill hands, some orange on his body. His eyes and his mouth are kind of painted in. The inside of his mouth looks weird with the pink-red color in there. That's kind of funny, but it is, I guess, accurate to the movie because that's where his little sort of exploding napalm pellets came out of. Let's see. His head. It keeps kind of popping up. His arms move up. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my god. Finally we got Megalon figure. We put him next to our Bandai Mechagodzilla. So yeah, he's actually kind of a big kaiju in general with his big arms and his big horn and everything. So luckily he's not too small looking, which I like. He actually scales pretty good. So let's continue. Let's see what else I got. So next thing we got something very red, very lobster-like. I don't know why I went that accent, but we got Ebira. Ebira, the horror of the deep. Well, this is a kaiju that, yeah, is definitely not easy to find in any other form. This is a very underappreciated kaiju, I think. I mean, it is really just a lobster, but he has his personality. He has his look to him, and oh, I like this. I love the texture along his body. That's so cool. Made in Japan, Toho Co. Ltd. So it does say Toho on it, but like, does Toho actually like endorse YMSF, or are they just kind of like making third-party figures and putting Toho's name on them despite not being really endorsed? Because like, I don't know how official YMSF is. It's kind of weird because it's not really like Bandai where it's this big company. It's just like, I think it's run by like one dude or something. I don't know. But regardless, look at this thing. Ebira. Look at that. So we can bring him with our Gigan figure. So our typical 6-inch Bandai figure. And now we got our Ebira. Ah, awesome. Kaiju that I never thought I'd have in my collection. So let's bring him in close for you guys to have a look at. Look at his little face there. I love his little Ebira eyes. Now these things, these are really cool, but these are a lot thinner in the actual movie, so they made them really thick for this figure, which is a bit of a shame. But I love these claws. He has these classic claws with the one sort of long, thin one with the stabby pincer where you could stab people onto it, and this kind of like other big one here. These kind of derpy looking little legs at the bottom. It looks a little derpy from underneath. You can see there. You can see all the written details under there. There's a couple of variants with like the way the tail's angled as well. So this one's kind of the flat one, I think. YMSF figures tend to have variants in them every now and again. But yeah, look at that. I love the carapace detail up on the top of his body here. All these spikes. That's really cool. I'm so glad I got this. Oh, this one. I'm so happy I have this one. Again, another kaiju that's so difficult to get a figure of for a decent price. And again, YMSF figures aren't super cheap either. These ones are kind of pricey for vinyl figures, but they're like you know, again, boutique vinyl figures, and they're doing all these rare kaiju, so I'd say it's worth it, at least until we get Monster Arts releases of all of these, which, you know, they don't really like to target Showa kaiju all that often. I actually brought in this guy here as a good height example. So I actually think the 64 Godzilla would actually scale better with this guy, because Hedorah, for those of you who don't know, is a big kaiju. Big kaiju, and I love it. I absolutely love this thing. Oh, just the shapes of it. It's just like the beautiful sort of gruesome shapes of him. How do I put him in? Again, I'm sorry it's a little dark looking. Hold on. We can up the brightness a little bit. Sorry the contrast is a bit down. Just, I have terrible lighting in my setup here. So look at that. Hedorah in all his glory. I love those eyes. I think the kind of yellow in the eyes looks a little bit sort of... I don't like the way it's bleeding onto the red almost. Just at the edges. It's actually not too bad, but no, it's alright. It's pretty good. The colors are really cool. He's got all these yellows and this kind of dark colors. He's almost this sort of semi-gloss texture to him. He's got his big sack thing on the back of him. And I just love the shape of all these sort of flowing bloblets of matter that make up this kaiju. That is beautiful. Hell yeah. And look and under him we got some of that legal information as well. On this side we have, sorry, I'm just trying to get the light to just shine off of it. There we go. Toho Co. Ltd. YMSF and Gen. There we go. 71. And this figure is 2006. So it was a 2006 mold of this figure. Very nice. Finally, I've got a Hedorah figure that's decent in my collection. Like I have a little Final Wars Hedorah that's a little bit shorter than this guy, but it's not that great. And I have a little Gashapon figure, but this is like a substantial Hedorah figure in my collection, which I'm so happy about. And I can actually show you my little Hedorah medallion that I'm making these and going to be selling these. So these little resin Hedorah medallions that I made next to the YMSF Hedorah. Oh, look at them, they're friends. Yes. Oh, that is so nice. So nice indeed. I'm running out of space here for these guys. I should have thought of this ahead of time. We'll move him. Actually, just bring in the 64 Godzilla. I actually kind of lost a little bit of his tail, which is why I didn't bring him in this unboxing, but I may as well, because I think he'll scale nice with this guy. So here we have the Monster Arts 1964 Godzilla figure. I absolutely adore this figure. It's on the shorter side, but I think that actually works with this Hedorah, because Hedorah kind of looms over Godzilla quite considerably. And I think the scaling is pretty spot on between the two. So I know this isn't the actual, I think it's, what year did Hedorah come out? 71? Something like that? I don't remember the exact year. I think it was 1971. So this isn't the exact Godzilla design, but it's not far off. I mean, the sort of mid-Showa era Godzillas looked fairly similar to the 64. So there you go. A possible pairing for these two. Ah, that's so cool. So cool. 64 Godzilla here doesn't really scale that great with this Megalon. You can see there. The Megalon is a little big, I'd say. It's not too bad. It's just this Godzilla is kind of lanky looking compared to him. And we can bring in Ebira. Ebira was quite big. So, yeah, not the worst scaling in the world either, but these figures were designed to sort of fit with Bandai vinyls and not really this figure here. It just happens that Hedorah seems to scale really well with that figure. Let's see what we got here. Ah, we got, this is named Kumonga, or Spiga, depending on which version you like to call him. It goes by a few names. The big spider kaiju from Son of Godzilla. Oh yeah, another obscure kaiju. Again, I went for solely the obscure sort of Showa era kaiju that they were putting out. And I'm not disappointed. This is pretty cool. Oh, look at that. Got this big, thick spider body. Little mandibles here. Nice sort of purplish eyes. And I like the coloring. It should be a bit more yellow, I think, but it's kind of green looking. Because it's just very lightly dry brushed. But it does have a nice effect to it. It is a pretty decent paint job for something like this. So, again, it coming out a little bit dark on my screen here than it is in real life, but there you guys go. Look at that. I love the kind of fluff texture on the front of his mouth. His eyes look super cool. He's got these big, strong-looking spider legs. This really cool shaped abdomen here. Really creepy looking. The underside looks like this, so if I try and find a nice spot where you can kind of read that there. Really nice. The underside of this thing says made in Japan, Y-MSF in Jan. 1967 to 2009. So again, a 2009 made figure. All of these are again hollow vinyl. Kind of scales like this with these ones. It's not the biggest figure, but it does seem accurate, and it does look super cool next to these. I mean, look at this. These are just like YMSF figures. They're kind of like in between Bandai vinyls and X Plus figures. Like, they're nowhere near like the X Plus quality, but the sculpts are getting a lot more accurate and a lot closer to like that sort of X Plus style, but still you know, stylizing their figures and building them like typical Bandai vinyl figures. So that's kind of what you get with this. So I'll put him down there for now. I've got some more to get to. It looks like, unless they shoved two figures into one, I think they forgot my Manda figure. Bloody hell. So, yeah, they forgot my Manda. This is a bit of a bummer. But we got a Rodan figure here. Oh, yes. So this is the original Rodan, 1956 Rodan. The original. And I saw this sculpt and I just thought, it was too beautiful to pass up. And seeing it in person, it is nice. The wing's kind of floppy on him though, so the build on this one, again, is a little bit floppy feeling. That's a bit of an issue. His feet are actually separate pieces as well, and I'd assume top of his head here, but the wings are particularly kind of floppy, but he's a nice chunky figure for a Rodan. And the texturing on this thing and just the look of this Rodan, it is so cute. I love it. Love it. Look at him. Nice Rodan. I love the texturing over his chest there. Looks really great. Down his legs, the way those kind of folds go is really cool. These nice wings, very accurate to how he looked in that first film. He's got his little tail at the end there, looking really cute. Love this kind of rough texture they used, and the classic 56 Rodan face on this one. Really great. I'll actually bring in. I have a Bandai vinyl of this version of Rodan that it's actually really similar to this. So I've just got it up here. I'm just going to bring it down. There we go. Here's the official Bandai. This one is one of those older Bandai figures from, I think, like the 80s or something. This one's made in Japan. Yeah, Bandai Japan. Not really seeing a date on him. Maybe it's like 89. There's a little number there. I can't really read it. But a very similar looking Rodan, and you can compare the two here. So this one's actually kind of got a more bulky body, and his wings are more rounded. This one's got more flat wings. Got a really rough texture on him. Some cool, like, metallic paintwork on him. I do prefer the tail on this one. It is more accurate than this guy's tail here. But this guy has these kind of, like, smoother things on his wings here, and these look a little bit rushed on this version. They could have done a little bit better just with outlining this on the real Bandai here. But again, these are two great versions of this Rodan. This Rodan is my favorite Rodan. I love the original 56 Rodan, so I'm really happy to have this. Excellent. But I am a little bummed out that they did forget to pack my Manda figure. So, yeah, I think they did admit that they forgot. They put in 5 figures, and they think I ordered 6. So I need to contact them, let them know that these arrived, and that I will need my Manda, because I paid for it. I was waiting for it for a very, very long time. These took forever to get here, so yeah. I'll probably do a full review of these at some point, because these are fantastic. They deserve their own dedicated video. Just gonna double, triple check that it's definitely the last thing in the box, and I mean, you know, the box is empty, so it's gotta be. Okay. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching the video here. I hope to see you in watching my next video. But until then, may all your vinyl be irradiated vinyl. Over and out. Bye.